Welcome to Deep in the Sauce, brought to you by Big Butz Barbecue Sauce, Yeah Butz in the Woods, and me, your host, Tom Porter. It's the middle of freaking winter and it's snowing out. Let's cook some ribs. We've all gone to the grocery store and seen a big old slab of ribs like this. Now, when it comes to cooking ribs at home, this can be very intimidating looking, especially since when you're thinking ribs, you're thinking of the nice, even racks that you get at the restaurants. Well, you can get one of these and make those racks no problem. So the first thing I'm going to do is flip it over. Now, on the back side of your rib rack here, see we got this nice little meat strip going through. And some of them are thicker than others, and some of them are really thin, and you might not be able to cut them off. If you have a nice thick one like that, like this, you're going to want to cut it off. Now, save that. In fact, save everything you trim off of these, because you can use the trim ends to test out seasonings, sauces, stuff like that. Now, the next thing is look at the back of your rib rack. You got a line that the top of the ribs go here. Now, what you're going to do is, if you look at it, there's a fat end on one side and a thin end on the other side. Now, you want your ribs to cook evenly, so you're going to eliminate some of the fat side and you're going to eliminate some of the thin side. So, you feel 2 bones, 2 bones in, then you're going to slice straight up, just like that. Now, we're going to go over to the thin end, and we're going to go 3 bones in. So 3 bones, and go straight up. You're going to want to get as close to the bone that you're cutting off as you can, so you save a little bit of meat for your rack as much as possible. Alright. Now that you've got that cut and that cut, all you do is come across the top. Now, when you move your rack, you can see where they hinge at. And you're basically aiming to cut about 1/2 inch above that hinging point. Slide it down, go through. And that, right there, is your standard spare rib rack, St. Louis style. So I'm going to go ahead and cut up all my other racks here, and then we'll get them ready to go on the smoker. Now that we've got our rib racks all cut out, and I got all of the different little pieces left over, small end ribs, thick end ribs, the straps from the backs of the ribs, and then these, which are the riblets. If you're looking on a pig, the rib rack that we use, you gotta figure it goes like this, and then the riblets are actually part of the belly fat and belly muscle tissue with the little cartilage thrown in. Anyways, so we're gonna now, there's a membrane on the back of ribs, and different people have different methods for pulling them up. You can pull on the edge like this until it starts coming up, and then pull it over. Another way to do it is to go to the middle and use the tine of a fork to wiggle your way under here. And then you're going to slide it back and forth until you can fit a finger in, just like that. And then you work, come underneath, and then you can pull it up right from the middle. And to get a good grip, it helps to just use paper towel. So we're just going to pull this right up and off of here. And it might not all come off, and that's no big deal. It happens all the time. But you do want to try to pull up as much as you can. So, there's that one. Now that one is transferred over here and is ready to get seasoned up to throw in the smoker. So now I'm just going to go through and do it all again. So when it comes to your ribs, you can season them up several different ways. Some people use a slather, whether it be barbecue sauce or mustard or something of the like. Other people just apply seasonings directly to the meat. It's kind of a personal preference sort of thing. Today I'm going to be going with some barbecue sauce, mixture with barbecue sauce, and then some with nothing at all, and see how it goes. So I'm going to start with the barbecue sauce in one. I'm just going to lay it on there. And the thing is a little bit goes a long way, and you want to make sure when you're slathering, because this is what's going to help to hold the seasonings on, that you actually get both sides of coating. So that way the flavor wants to come through all the way on the meat. Thanks. Alright. Then we'll move that one there. This one I'm going to put a mixture on. It's really runny. So we'll just lay it on there. Just like that. It's really a thin coating. Like I say, it's just to hold the seasonings on. So, for this first one, that's all barbecue sauce, I'm going to apply some of my homemade steak rub to it. Now, I know it sounds odd to be putting a steak rub on ribs, but the sauce will help the pork flavors, and this gives it that nice little added salt kick to it. So we just want to make sure we got a good dusting on. Now the next that I put the solution on, all I'm going to do with this one is just dust it with some kosher salt. Just nice and easy. We don't want it to get overly hammy or anything like that, so we don't need to go hog wild. Just a little bit to soak into the meat. And then for this last one, I'm using some Simply Marvelous Cherry Rub from Simply Marvelous Barbecue and Catering out of California. And I'm just going to spoon some on and liberally rub it in. So really work it onto the meat. And you can go on you can buy a lot of different rub recipes straight from the store. You can go online and pick up quite a few of them. There's lots of outlets, and you can even go online and find recipes to make your own. So, alright. Now we got our ribs all dusted up. And I'm going to season up all these pieces because we're going to cook all these up too. And then it's onto the cooker. Alright, time to put the racks on the smoker. So I got 2 levels of racks here, and I'm going to set these on the lower one because due to how cold it is, I want these to get a little bit more heat. Plus, I like cooking my racks high heat. So I'm going to put them on in order so I don't forget which are coated with what. And I'm going to put these bone down to start off with. Just like that. Now, I'm going to put this rack on top, and I'll go and get all those pieces and put them on top of that. Our ribs are all done. They were on the smoker for about 3 hours. I flipped them after about 45 minutes, moved them up to the top at the 2-hour mark, and then sauced them when there's about 15 minutes left to go or so. Now they've rested for about 20 minutes, and I'm just going to start cutting into them. Now, when I cut into them, you look at the bone on the end and you map in through there. And these are ones that are just the rub, the Simply Marvelous Cherry Rub. Nice little smoke ring on them. And these ones got a little bit too much done in the center rack. And this is the one with the special blend. And the sauce. They say it got a little bit dark on it, a little bit of smoke ring just around the edge there. I'm sure towards this end they're a little bit better. And then, last but not least, is these guys. And this was just a straight barbecue sauce with the steak seasoning on it. I'll just slide right down through there. And we got a nice smoke ring on these. Right there. Alright, we'll finish getting all these cut up, and then it's time to eat. Now is the big moment of truth to try all 3 of the ones that we did. Now, this first one here is the Simply Marvelous Cherry Rub that was then sauced at the end with our cranberry barbecue sauce. And then this one was what I call our competition recipe, and that also got sauced at the end with cranberry. And this one was the barbecue sauce with my own sort of rub blend, and then ended up with cranberry barbecue sauce on it also. So a look at all of them indicated a nice smoke ring had started. We'll go ahead and we'll give this guy here a try. Nice bite through mark. And that's really good. It's got the fruit accents coming in underneath from the cherry. It's very sweet overall. Hardly any saltiness. It's really a good tasting rib. Excellent. Now we'll move on to our competition one here. And give her a try. That one's got a good amount of sweet, a good amount of salty. You really taste the meat. It's got a pretty nice bite mark. Pull away from it. Got a little bit of bark that came off the top, but not too bad. Overall, a good all-around rib, I must say. And now we'll give the barbecue sauce with my rub here a try. And that one's really good. It's got a saucy hit to it. It's got a little bit more pepper to it than the other ones. So there's a little bit, nice little heat behind it. But as you can see, it had a little bit more pull on it than the other ones did. But still a nice clean bite mark on it. Alright, now After tasting all these, you're probably sitting there going, okay, so they all sound good. Why does it matter which one you go with, how you do it? Much like our own individual personalities, ribs can have their own individual personalities. You can tweak them, you can create them, you can do them however makes you happy in the end. And that's also why I didn't spend a lot of time telling you how exactly to do them. Because it's about discovering it. It's learning to do it the way that you want to do. And that's part of doing it the way you want to do it. This has been Deep in the Sauce, brought to you by Big Butz Barbecue Sauce, the Abbots in the Woods, and me, your host, Tom Porter. Keep doing it the way you do.